Let's turn to other world news now and to Sudan, where the world's worst displacement crisis is escalating and the consequences for people there are dire. The United Nations says more than 100,000 people have fled El Fasher and its surrounding areas in North Darfur since the paramilitary rapid support forces took over last month. An estimated 150,000 civilians from El Fasher are unaccounted for. Footage of massacres and mass graves have led to serious concerns about their safety. And 40,000 have fled Kordofan, where fighting is continuing. Since the conflict began in April 2023, roughly 12 million people have been forced from their homes and tens of thousands have been killed. About 1.2 million of those have escaped to neighbouring Chad, often in overcrowded and underfunded camps. And that's where we find Al Jazeera's Ahmed Idris, who's in Tinea on the border between Chad and Sudan. Tell us about the situation at the border. How many have been arriving in recent days?
Well, since the fall of Al Fasher, fully more than 3,000 have come through this road I'm standing on. You see over there, right behind me, that's a truck that's about to leave this border point. Actually is carrying family of 10 that we met when we arrived here for this live shot. And we understand that they continue to arrive, but not on a large scale that we've seen since the fall of Al Fasher. Tinea is one big town dissected by a river. This side of the town is Chad. The other, behind the camera, is actually Sudanese. The area used to be peaceful until 3 days after the fall of Al Fasher. Then a drone bombarded the Sudanese side of Tinea, and then killed about 27 people, wounded more than 40 others who were transferred to a hospital here in Tinea. And since then, we've seen more and more people, apart from those fleeing at Fasher and other towns affected by fighting, we've also seen a lot of people from Tinea cross into eastern Chad for safety. Now, we understand that in the early days of this conflict, or when the movement started, the latest movement of refugees started, there were about 80 to 100 families coming in every single day. And that is happening right across 5 entry points here in eastern Chad. Now, these refugees are coming here to meet more than 1 million others who've been here for years. The latest, of course, apart from this one, the latest, of course, being those who've been here since 2023, when the fighting broke out in West Darfur. And then we saw more than 800 people coming in into eastern Chad.
As you say, Ahmed, millions of Sudanese refugees are in Chad. What's been the impact on Chad, the host country?
The impact is massive. Understand that Chad is a food insecure country. It means it's been suffering from food shortages due mainly to bad agricultural practices, weather changes, climate change, in fact, and of course, so many other factors. Fighting and violence have also impacted agricultural production and business as well. Now, these refugees are coming to a country that is whose citizens also depend to a large degree on external aid to survive or to see to the next day. Now, these people, when they arrive here, they arrive with almost nothing. As the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees told us, most of them arrived with basically the shirts on their backs. And what they meet here, because of underfunding and funding shortages, they are coming to face a more difficult situation. They don't know what they will do when the next wave of refugees, and they understand that there are tens of thousands waiting to come into eastern Chad because they believe here, it's apart from being safe, it's also where they can find food and shelter.
Abubakar Muhammad shops for groceries for his family's dinner, only to find out that the same money he spent a few days ago isn't enough to get the same quantity of supplies.
Everything in the market here is expensive. Nothing is cheap. It's not like in places like Abesha or in Jamena.
Across eastern Chad, markets are bursting with goods that few can afford. Inflation is eating into incomes and lives become more expensive. Traders say they aren't to blame.
Now food is expensive because more than 10,000 Sudanese arrived here after their country disintegrated. There are goods everywhere, but people can't afford them.
The arrival of refugees from Fasher adds to over 1 million Sudanese who've been forced from their homes since 2023.
Even before the arrival of Sudanese refugees, aid agencies say more than 2 million Chadians depended on food aid. The continuous arrival of refugees from Sudan has intensified competition for food, shelter, and water. Humanitarian aid workers worry that could lead to friction between the refugees and the host communities.
The pressure isn't only at the markets. At water collection and distribution points, long queues have now become common. Hospital facilities are overstretched. So are schools.
57% of this population have school-age children, and there is no school. There is no school. We don't have funding to construct at least temporary learning spaces. We don't have the means to recruit teachers. We have some teachers among them, but there are no means even to buy school kits to give to the children. We don't have the funding.
To ease the pressure, the United Nations has commenced the process of relocating 3,000 new refugees who arrived through the Tine border crossing point. The number of new arrivals has slowed to 200 families a day. But humanitarian workers are warning that a bigger wave is yet to arrive, leaving border communities concerned about how they will cope. Ahmed Idris, Al Jazeera, Tine, on the Chad-Sudan border.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.